The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation is brought to you in part by Foreign Currency brings you Burner Boy, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Bonneville Bones, Fidelity Bank, Atos Holding, Alive, and Ron's Electric Motors.
It's the Foundation that's rocking the nation. Howard Grant's the host, got a radio station 96.9, 12 to 2 is the time. You can call the show or use the text line. Yeah, he educates, he informs, he goes against the norm. He's really got that zeal. Plus, he's a child of God.
Foundation. It's the foundation. Foundation. It's the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. We're out here live in full effect. It is a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Tuesday afternoon. A day away from Lover's Day. All of our Carmichael Road is being able to tell us the truth. Talk to me. Every tent in the world. Those dry rot tents, many of them that sat in your backyard doing nothing. Today's the day. Pull that thing out. Get yourself prepared to be able to sell one of your love baskets and being able to do that as you prepare for Valentine's. I want to thank all those persons that chimed in and kind of, continue to be able to participate in what we're doing here at the Foundation. It is a glorious thing that we're having these kind of great conversations with you on the newspaper. Water Sewage Company contracts didn't get minister's approval. Minister testifies, and Gibson's trial. The information's in there, guys. You want to be able to kind of dive into that. Before we go any further, I want to be able to shout out my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. If you're in the market and you're looking for a great place, affordable for you to be able to get your vehicle insured, you want to go over to AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Please check them out. Give them a call over at 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS. I got to emphasize that if you're in the market and you're a jitney driver, a taxi driver, you got a fleet of cars, so forth and so on, there is an opportunity for you to be able to do in-house financing. Just call Ethric Bow at 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS. They got everything laid out for you guys, all right? And also, before we go any further, Coco Plum Bistro, they got a Valentine's Day special. Reserve your space right now. Reserve your table today. Give them a call at 677-6776, 677-6776. Or you can be able to book at opentable.com. They got everything available for you. That's over there. Just as you more west, you can be able to head, sorry about that, at the Harbor Green Shopping Plaza. They got everything West Bay Street right here in Nassau. You can be able to do that. They got great stuff, man. I told you about these guys before. Tomorrow we're going to have Chantal come on with us to be able to talk about it just for a little taste and talk about what they have laid out and whatnot. But I want to guarantee you, and assure you, my wife and I enjoyed our 20th anniversary when we were over there at Coco Plum Bistro. I had a great time with them. You know, it's a great environment, great opportunities, and we want you to be able to be a part of that. So just give them a call at 677-6776 or book at opentable.com for your Valentine's Day special. They get a little sweet thing in the can over there and make sure you can be able to enjoy yourself as we do that. Guys, I want to talk with you more specifically. The Prime Minister is in here wilding out. Can I say that? I mean, in the spirit of decency, I want to, as decent as I possibly can get it, right? As decent as I can get it. But you know what happened is that if we look at it, right, we're often in the Prime Minister's business. Talk to me. We're always talking about what can be done, looking at a different perspective, the different avenue, different approach, so forth and so on. I mean, he's returning the favor. I'm not going to fight him. He's talking about these particular things. The PM chimes in on the media, and David says, crime. I says, don't be able to spread the thing on the front page. Well, Tell the fellas don't kill nobody. My God, let's talk about these things. Let's rectify it from this core aspect before we try to be able, because we talked about this. There's kind of an idea of being able to spin, this idea of being able to avert your eyes, this idea that we could suppress information as opposed to being able to rectify something. Talk to me. Let's talk about this. Let's rectify something as opposed to being able to suppress it. You ain't got to suppress it if you deal with it. Let's deal with it face on, head on, and be able to rectify it accordingly. Let's do that. You know, and the first thing, and I want to be able to shout out to the reporters that I asked them right off the cuff, well, what do you say to people who said that when you were putting out the signs for 490 persons murdered, you know, well, that's the past. Let's leave that in the past. Wow. That is crazy. And I smile about it, but because if you don't smile, you'll cry. And the idea that this is the way that we're governing this country. The idea that even under the PLP, just after 630 persons were murdered within the space of 5 years. This is crazy stuff. But no one will talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. You want me to be decent today. You want me to be able to pull back. You don't want to deal with these things. I'm not going to fight you. We can dive into these conversations. We're still on this concept and idea of being able to deal with crime. How do we find ourselves in a position where we can be able to safeguard ourselves and our families? Today, I made a promise to you that we're going to have a conversation about firearms. And I have a representative all the way from the National Firearms Association here in the Bahamas who can be able to tell us all about exactly where we are. None other than Virgil Thurston Stirrup. I'm so happy to be able to have you with us, my brother. I read all your information. You're a good and decent man. You're prepared to be able to talk about these things. Say good afternoon to the people out there.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and thank you, Howard, for having me on your show.
I'm happy that you're here, man. The first thing we want to know is how can we own a fire? No, the thing is this. We are a faithful people. We are a people that believe in optimism. We want to be able to see progression and growth, but we're realistic. We realize that travailing the street, we could find ourselves in some issue. This isn't Brazil. This isn't Venezuela. This isn't other spaces, not even Detroit or Crenshaw, but we're progressively moving in an area that a lot of us fear. Talk to me about it.
Good afternoon again, Bahamas. Well, the climate in the country is changing. Over the past, we've had children go off to colleges. They've come back with different mindset, different mentalities. We have a large population of the country that's foreign. We call them expats. We have a population that came into the country illegally. They have had children, and they brought their culture and their thinking into the country. And then we have open borders. So all of these things lend to a different mindset in the country that we're not used to, that we didn't grow up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And all of that now has lent to this thing that we call crime, along with something that we don't like to address, enforcement of the rules that we do have on the books. And if you see the crime statistics in the country, the cry is that the criminals get away more than the average law-abiding citizen. You know, as a law-abiding citizen, you tend to get slapped more harder with the law than someone who goes out there and is a multiple offender.
My God.
And that is
I feel like that's in almost every sector.
Yes.
Because if you go out here as a law-abiding citizen trying to build a house, they push that down.
Yes.
But if you decide that I'm going to squat today, you could be there 20 years and nobody bother with you.
Nothing said.
This is crazy.
It's one of the big areas that we really need to pay attention to. In Florida, you won't run the light. You'll have on your seat belt. You'll buy that car seat. If you rent a car for your little toddler, you will obey the laws and the rules. Why? Because you know there's consequences. And so anytime you live in a society where there's no consequences, people tend to throw off restraint and they tend to act any kind of way, and then they become emboldened. So a guy goes out, or a female, in these cases nowadays, they commit a murder. Let's say a murder. They go on bail. They commit a second murder. They go on bail. What happens then? Their tolerance level now to committing murders is basically non-existent.
They didn't taste blood.
Yeah, they didn't taste blood, and then they know.
My God.
They spend 2-3 months bail. And murders that they didn't get caught for. Because once they've tasted the blood, the only murders you're actually attributing to them is the ones you actually caught them in.
My God.
And so the unsolved murders in the country is not new people out there committing murders. It's the same repeat offenders.
I can jump in quickly and ask you this question. What about ballistics on the firearm itself? In the event that we find John Doe or Jane Doe, who's already found themselves in this kind of a position where they become a social vampire, just taking on persons left and right, so forth and so on. We find them with a gun. We run ballistics on it. We identify any other murders. Do we have that kind of capability locally?
Yes, the police force does have a forensic unit. I think they're pretty good. But again, like the commissioner of police says, they can only do their part, which is actually making the arrests, providing the evidence, and then after that, it's up to the courts. It's up to the system. And so once they provide the evidence, they provide what the court requires of them, ballistic-wise and otherwise, then it's up to the courts now to enforce penalties. Now, if you catch an individual with a firearm and there's, let's say, it's committed 4 or 5 offenses that your ballistics have notified or found out, all of them may not be his, because when 2 or 3 of those incidents took place, which means that particular firearm has been passed around or has been used and discarded.
That's heavy what you're saying. The little
passed
commercial,
on.
the little
Right.
commercial that we have here. I'm always like baffled by it, right? Child, you see Junior run right around the corner. Have you ever heard it, right? So it said something that always kind of stands out to me. He rented this gun. Hold on, let's talk about this.
Allegedly.
Do people? No, but I'm saying the commercial says that people rent guns. Is this something that they created for a skit, or is this a concept that actually exists in our society?
It's a concept that exists.
That is crazy.
It's a concept that exists.
That is crazy.
Person may not have enough monies on the street level to purchase a firearm, so he rents a firearm.
So hypothetically, they say that the gun is $500, illegal. Hypothetically, this is the allegations. This is what I hear on the streets.
Yeah.
How do I know? In the barbershop, just to be very clear about this. So let's say $500 for the gun on the streets, right? And the fella can't reach $500. You could rent a gun. I mean, if you around this kind of
That circle.
this grouping in this
Yes.
circle.
Yes.
That is crazy. This is like a SD. For me, this is mind-boggling, because I listened to the commercial, I said, well, why would actually something that people do?
And why it has gotten to this point? Because with anything, if it becomes common, the value drops. So the more, scarce something becomes, the value of it goes up. Absence creates value. So in the absence of anything, the value of it goes up.
So the same principle of supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
It applies to.
Right. So you have.
crazy.
So if this guy has 300 guns and that guy has 200 guns and that guy has 400 guns, they're not selling. He has to find another way to make some money off those guns.
I just gonna let you know that I am in the space of absolute naivete. I don't know none but these things. I know but shotgun. I know the double barrel, the single barrel, the pump, so forth and so on. This is above board with my uncles, my granddaddy, them, so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? So as it relates to, handheld guns or anything illegal, I'm blown away.
Right. So we have the National Firearms Association, which I represent.
You're the director.
Right.
You're
I'm one of the director. Marvin Gordon is the president of the association. And one of our main push in the country is education on firearms. Legal firearms, that is. Legal firearms. There are over 30,000 plus licensed firearm holders in the country. And less than 1% of those licensed firearm holders ever get into any issues.
30,000?
Over
30,000?
Yeah, licensed firearm holders in the country. And less than 1% of those get into any kind of legal issues with their firearms. One of the things that we are pushing are several things. What training does, training educates you to a firearm. It allows you to decide whether you want to own one or not, whether you're comfortable handling one or not. It provides safety for storing it in your home, or especially around your family. And it gives you an understanding that firearms are not all bad. It's not the firearm, it is the individual that holds the firearm. And with training, what we have noticed with us running training, a lot of persons, they can pass the vetting, the criminal vetting, but when you put the firearm in their hands, psychologically, they can't handle using a firearm, firing a shot. Because there's something about owning a firearm, and then there's something about using a firearm. That's why there are so many persons that buy a licensed shotgun or a licensed rifle, and they just have it in the safe for decades and never use it.
They're just sitting right there.
Just sitting right there.
They wouldn't shoot a duck.
They wouldn't shoot
Nothing.
a duck. They wouldn't fire a shot, right? And then the second part of that is there's ramifications in using your firearms in self-defense, because the laws in the country, like we discussed offline, for civilian ownership of firearms, there's no clearly defined rules of engagement. There's no clearly defined deadly form use. So take, for instance, someone is in your yard destroying your equipment or destroying your stuff. You're in your house. You know, people say, oh, I'll come out and I'll do this and I'll do that. Yeah, you can say that. But if you leave the confines of your home or in your enclosed space where there's no threat to your life, but you can replace material things, and you go out there and you shoot the guy for breaking up your car, for thieving your dilly, your knaps,
My God.
or violating your fence area, what was the cause? Was there a lethal threat to your life? Was your life in danger? Was your family's life in danger because someone was in your yard? Now, we like to use our big brother to the north. They have different laws. They have things called stand your ground.
Stand your ground in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas.
In Florida too, eh?
In Florida, parts of Florida.
Parts of Florida.
Yeah, not all of it. Parts
South
of
Florida, I think Miami-Dade, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
A few of the municipals in Florida have different firearm policies. Some even have open carry.
Yeah.
In certain parts.
No. I don't see open carry. What I saw, my cousin actually he purchased 2 firearms, which I thought was crazy. I got to tell you it's a very quick story. So I went to hang out with him, right? And he's like, let's go to this car show. This is when I was like 18, 19, traveling by myself. So he said, let's go to this car show. So I said, okay, no problem. So he grabs 2 guns. So I said, hold on, sir. I've been coming to Miami for years. My mommy never had a gun. You asked me to go out and you get 2 guns and I get none. I don't think we should go. Right? But he said you have to be able to keep it in the holster, keep it snapped, put it in a glove compartment, lock it.
Right.
So you have to go through all these steps before you actually grab your weapon.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. So there are different rules and regulations. And one of the things we did as the National Firearm Association, we have met with the Commissioner of Police, we have met with the Attorney General, we have met with the Minister of National Security. And we have laid out our vision because we are a registered non-governmental organization. We are an NGO. We are a certified NGO. We have our certification certificate. And one of the things we did, we wrote up a document called the Castle Doctrine. What the Castle Doctrine is, the Castle Doctrine gives you the legal right to protect, quote unquote, your castle.
You've been playing with guns from you as a child, hey, don't lie. I'm looking at these certifications. You could be a stuntman. I watch you in the movie, I watch you in the movie.
Yes.
And I'm looking at this and it's blowing my mind as to this sort of a concept. What is your overarching idea, the vision that you have for the country as it relates to firearm for the National Firearms Association?
Well, what we want to do, we want to start from a relatively young age, getting persons involved in firearm competitions, because shooting is an Olympic sport.
This is the education that you started to talk about.
Right, shooting is an Olympic sport. So once you get persons into firearms at a young age, they just like martial arts.
I like this.
You hardly ever see a trained martial artist go and pick a fight,
I like this.
because it brings a level of discipline.
Yeah.
With it.
You know that your hands are weapons.
Right.
You know that if you actually institute this, you could actually bring real hurt to someone's life.
Correct.
And so you know this in your training.
You know it in your training.
So if we train our children right now, not necessarily to go grab up a gun, but to be knowledgeable about a gun and how it works and so forth and so on, they don't have a fear of it. And so they wouldn't run for a gun.
No. If you go online on YouTube, there's something called the 3-gun competition, right? For those who are listening, there's something called a 3-gun competition for teenagers, and you have 9 states. and you see them running the obstacle course,
I
shooting.
think I watched one of them with the
Yeah.
little girl. She's bop, bop, bop,
Right,
bop.
shooting
She
they shoot
dangerous
the
boy.
pistol, the shotgun, and the rifle. And so when they look at a firearm, they look at a firearm in terms of hunting, sport shooting, clay shooting, competition shooting, probably qualifying for the Pan Am Games, the World Cup Games, the Olympics. So they look at it shooting as a sport.
And not so there is a different mindset.
Mindset.
When I feel depressed, when I feel segregated, set apart, when I feel people have been condescending to me and I can't take too much more, I'm sick and tired of this, and I go grab a gun. This is some of the issues that you grapple with.
Correct.
But because you don't know about the weapon and the dangers that's associated, you feel like you could be able to run for this power.
Correct.
This is crazy.
Because over the years, I've had the opportunity to use my firearm in self-defense. But
You sound too celebrated. I had the opportunity.
Yeah, but there are ramifications, and like I said, there are laws governing your use, and so people will look at you and say, "Boy, if it was me, I would have done this and I would have done that." Yeah, but then there's an aftermath, even with law enforcement and the military.
You gotta go through so much.
The defense force.
So even officers who you clip,
Magazine.
you get your magazine, right? You,
Yeah,
these things.
sound like a clip. Sound like you from 8 Mile
Yeah, I'm
Rock.
from 8 Mile Rock. I'm from 8 Mile Rock, right? You get your magazine, right?
Yeah.
Your magazine is full, but if you discharge it whilst on duty, you have to report this.
Right.
You have to be able to give an account for why'd you shoot the gun, so forth and so on.
Correct. And beyond that, I'm talking about the human factor of it. People believe taking a life and then living with that afterwards, there are some mental issues.
Who
some
people? I don't know these people.
human beings in
I
general.
watched my granddaddy kill
Yeah.
a hog, and I never eat 1 cent.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So there's a psychological aftermath that only the person that did the act lives with. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're in the military, usually in the military they come back, they call PSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, because they have seen death. And so it's difficult for them now to come back in a sane world and operate normally. Some people, after a while, they acclimate themselves to some sense of normalcy, but behind the scenes at night, they struggle with issues.
That's crazy.
Persons who, even you might think the guy on the street who quote unquote may be a murderer, with some mental things in the back of the head, in the back of the mind, and that's why some of them keep on doing it.
Self-medicating all the time.
All the time, using drugs, using alcohol.
Just trying to be able to be inebriated to the point where you don't even have to think about it.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. And so all of that is a part of the of firearms training, and it gives you that discipline. Simply like I like to refer to martial arts because I also do martial arts. It's the same concept. When you understand the power and you get a level of discipline, the last thing you want to do is use that power. You don't want to, not because you have the opportunity to shoot, you shoot. That comes with firearms training, that comes with sitting through classes, that comes through going on the range. And our president, Malvin Gordon, he did a survey. He's very good at this. He did a survey. He did a calculation of how much money Bahamians spend in Florida alone just going to the shooting range. I'm talking about you have groups go for birthdays,
My
go
wife
for
wanted to do
trips,
that
go
once-
for excursions, just to go to the gun range to shoot.
I had to tell her, listen, baby, you want to go Red Lobster, you want to shoot gun. She was confused. She didn't know what she wanted to do.
Correct.
But she does it here.
Right.
That's why I can't route with her.
Right. So we spend millions of dollars just going into Florida to shoot. We some of us in the country who have probably went to school, who have a social security number, who have certain things in the U.S., they own firearms in the United States. But when they come home to the Bahamas,
They got to leave it there.
they can't, and they're not granted one here. We have persons who have served in the U.S. military, who have served in law enforcement agencies, who have gone to war colleges, who have gone through all type of tactical training.
What is a war college? This sounds like something I want to enroll in.
No, you have to be in the military. We have had former
I'm
defense force
militant.
Marines.
That's
Yeah, I've went to war college. You have persons who have left the police force, who have been through the FBI academy, who have been all of these different things. But once you leave the system, We discard you.
This is an exciting conversation.
Yeah, we discard you. It's like your skills. No, you can be training officers and Marines today. You retire next week,
That's it.
and you apply for anything. It's like that's it. But yet, the crime is high. And one of the things you and I discussed before the show was our police force. I just have to say it. This crime cannot go down by just the police force alone. And I disagree with the police force using the defense force to assist. And I can tell you why. Your military is your tip of your spear. What the job of the military is to train every single day to be sharp, and you break that glass in case of emergency. If you have your
Shouldn't use them casually.
No. If you use your sharpest tool in your toolbox every single day,
When you need it, you ain't ready for it.
when you need it, it's going to be dull. It's not going to be ready. It's
Yeah.
not going to perform efficiently.
Yeah.
Take the defense force off the street. They shouldn't be there. They should be on the base. They
I
should
feel
be
like it's martial law when you see things
Right.
like that.
They should be on the base. They should be on the training grounds. They should be training every single day. They should be the tip of your spear. When they come out, you know there's an issue.
It's action.
There's an issue. There's
God.
a problem in the country.
My God.
What should happen? You have enough trained individuals who have passed through the system. Police, defense force, customs, immigration, who have passed through the system. A lot of these individuals have private security firms. They have multiple training. Empower them with the tools to take on all of these side jobs that you see going on around the bank at the end of the month, or at the liquor store, and all these different things. Police officers shouldn't be doing that. That should be the job of private security firms, armed, rules of engagement, the proper deadly force policy, and you take those police officers from those areas, and now you have more manpower on the street. The country is growing.
This heavy what you're saying, you know.
You have all of the armed forces together is not not
become
10,000.
It's not 10,000.
It's not 10,000, and they have to police.
I don't believe it's 6,000.
Right, and they have to police from Inagua to the south to Bimini in the north. Then you're talking about people on vacation, people sick, people.
But some of them
training,
are reserves.
But what I'm saying is the manpower alone, but all your law enforcement agencies in the country is not enough. So why do you want to take the little law enforcement that you do have and have them locked down with private engagements when you could empower all of these trained individuals who are, some of them want to come back home. I know Bahamians who have served in the British Army, British SAS, the U.S. Marines, who are serving in law enforcement agencies in the United States, Canada. They want to come home. But when you come home, the avenue for you to operate, especially with firearms, is not available.
I've also when I saw that and I haven't touched this, but we got to take this commercial break before we get back into a deeper conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, get back if you want to be able to chime in the conversation. We'd like you to do that. Virgil, when I saw this, at one point, you go into certain stores right around here, and you see police officers standing by the door.
Yes.
This is peculiar.
Yes. If you go to, I like to use the state of Georgia. If you go to the state of Georgia, Georgia has a strong private security sector. Mm-hmm. Their security sector is so strong that the police force hires them to assist them in major national events.
But these are ex-military.
Yeah. Ex-military, ex-police,
Green Beret, all kind of things.
But we have the
They're
same
dangerous.
But we have the same thing here.
We got some dangerous out of that.
Yeah, but
My God.
But we don't use them.
Well, let's take this commercial break. I want to talk to you when we get back because I want to know whether or not this conversation that we're having is leading to not only education, but for the citizens to kind of the right to bear arms. I want to talk about it.
Okay.
When we get back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive deeper into it. You know the numbers. Be right back after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
Foreign Currency brings you the Afro Concert. Burna Boy! Burna Boy performing live. Saturday, February 17, taking place at Clifford Park. Also performing Rich Homie Quan, 38 Afri, Dro Capone, Civelli, and more. Spinning 2024. Get tickets now. This one is a must that you're there.
It's Whopper Wednesday every Wednesday at Burger King Nassau. Make your Wednesday sizzle and sink your teeth into a flame-grilled beef patty topped with tomatoes, fresh cut lettuce, mayo, pickles, ketchup, and sliced onions, all on a toasted sesame seed bun with fries for only $5.95, including VAT. This Whopper Wednesday, grab a friend and head down to your favorite BK Nassau location for a flame-grilled Whopper made your way with crisp fries for only $5.95. Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay shop, stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion, located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking with none other than Virgil, all the way here, last name Virgil Thurston, right? He's here being able to talk to us about these particular things. I'm very grateful to be able to do this because I am kind of thrown back about this. You and I started to have this kind of a conversation that we dare not talk about on the radio. In the space of decency, we're doing these particular things. Virgil, talk to me about this now. You started out this conversation about education, right? A lot of persons at the beginning of this kind of a crime wave and crime spree that hit the country from the beginning of January, where we saw almost, every other day, red with crimson blood from murders in the street. And so there has been a great deal of conversations. A lot of persons said, well, we need Jesus. Let's get into pray. The country's moved towards praying. The Prime Minister has come out to talk about a national crime concept, put some pillars out there to do those particular things. The Prime Minister now is coming out and say, watch what you put in the media. There are so many ways they're trying to circumvent what's happening on our streets. But you're coming here and talking to us about firearms and talking to us about firearm education. Tell me this. Do you believe with an educated population on firearms and access to firearms that we can be able to curb what we're seeing here on the streets today?
Well, the data supports it. Some of the countries in Europe, we won't get into mentioning them. I'll give the public some. In the world have the highest rate of civilian gun ownership. But the problem with having a high rate of civilian gun ownership, you have to have legislation to support the use, carry, and discharging of those firearms. Like I said, there's no comprehensive deadly force policy for the civilian populations. There's no proper rules of engagement. There's no proper laws defining where, when, and how you can defend yourself with that firearm. Right now, it's basically up to the discretion of the police whether to charge you in certain circumstances as a law-abiding citizen if you were to use your firearm. And depending on who you use that firearm again if they're connected in certain circles.
Well, you're getting deep. You're getting deep. I didn't know who was going to do this.
You know how the country go.
You're getting deep.
Right?
Because we started to talk about certain connections and affiliations and how you could be able to get these things and where the monopoly exists in certain areas and why this concept and idea of entrepreneurialism is not really real in this country.
No,
it only could be existed in certain areas.
And I'll be bold enough to say, because I have a security company. I am a trained, certified close protection officer. You know it as bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also an instructor in that field. I train people to be a close protection officer. And one of the things that hampers us as a trained company is the lack of being able to carry certain firearms to jobs. If you have a client,
you got to walk with a shotgun.
You can't walk nowhere with no shotgun. You can't take the guy in Nubu, Club Nubu. You can't take him in Aura. You can't take him in Grey Cliff. You can't take him in Cafe Martinique with a shotgun.
You're getting deep. Let me tell you
so
why you're getting deep.
what happens there?
Because
it now goes to who?
Watch me say this.
Okay.
Because Shaquille O'Neal and others have come here who are big time fellas.
Yes.
They need They need security with them 24 hours.
Yes.
Who's securing these people?
Well, some of them, they understand our plight over the years, but they know our professionalism. So they still opt to use us in some aspect, but some aspects, certain business people and certain clients, they can only go one place. It's police force. And so what does that do? That hampers the entrepreneurial spirit in the country. So now you lock down now another segment of your officers now to do what? Engage in what?
So
something that a private certified train. So a lot of people contact me, say, hey, I want to go off. I want to train to be a close protection officer. I want to get that. I can train you, give you international certification, but you can go off and get more training. You can take it to the highest level. But to invest $10,000, $15,000 in certifying yourself to come home, and you can't get a job because they're not going to give you a firearm. I mean, what type of investment is that? And so that area is basically locked
despite
off.
Your qualifications, despite your expertise, despite the years that you've been doing, and despite your investment in these particular things, you come home, you open up your business, you have qualifications, you can show them that I've done this abroad. I've been doing this and qualified and certified in other spaces for this. And you come home and they say, yeah, Bala, but you're going to have to sit down here.
Listen, I've traveled all over carrying a concealed weapon, protected some of the most prominent people in the world. You have my bio in the front.
But not home.
Home, but working for another government.
But as soon as that's done.
In the 242, you're done. And we talk about entrepreneurial. We talk about entrepreneurial spirit. We talk about opening up the gateway, but yet you rather lock down your law enforcement agencies with a high crime rate in your country.
It's a can of worms.
But you won't open up the gates for the private sector to assist you. But you're crying for the help.
This is crazy what you're doing right here. Let me tell you why. You put them in the position where you talk about these things, and then we continue to ask questions. Why would the police force continue to be able to bring people back who've been retired for such a long time? No, you don't say nothing. Let me say it. Why would the police force continue to be able to bring people back? But you're answering the question for me. You've already stopped them from the opportunity of being able to. And so they're dependent because they ain't dead. After you retire, you don't drop down dead.
No.
They exist and they're still living. They have responsibilities and they never get paid good from the government anyhow. So now they're in this position where their relationships and their proximity put them back in the force again. Listen, because they can't find nothing to do independently.
Listen, they might be upset with me, but I'm going to call their names, right? I have persons like Derek Richardson, who trained me, Green Beret, Defense Force. Clyde Frazier, Green Beret. Simeon Gardner, Green Beret. People like Stanley Pitt, Eddie Bean, Terrence. All of these guys, we call them Gunny. All these guys so under me, Oral Wood. Still orbiting in the force. They're eventually going to come out. These guys are Green Berets. Commandos.
My God.
Skilled arms instructors.
Rambos.
They could do the whole thing. They're here in the country. These are the people you're about to send. Some of them are going to go to Haiti. If that ever comes up. Right? They're going to go serve the country. Some of them have been in 94 and 96.
They could train people.
They are the instructors. They are the instructors in the military as we speak. I can speak from the organization I came from. When they come out, and they decide they want to get into a high-end security company. They want to bring in persons from Los Angeles and business people and wealthy people, and they can't do it because they're not to do it.
That's crazy.
You have my bio sitting in front of you. You have an 80-page bio sitting in front of you, right? Have you ever seen one like that?
No. I'm actually. I said that you must have been playing with a gun from you as a child, because even in your tactical driving and all this stuff like that, you're certified in all these things.
Yeah, I'm a certified skill and arms instructor, tactical driver, offensive driver, close protection officer, explosive. I've had an explosive license for 29 years. I'm also the resident instructor. For if you want a commercial explosive license in the country,
tell me this.
I train you.
Do you know how to do the Shaolin two-finger jab?
Right.
But got everything together.
But in the 242, it means absolutely
nothing.
Zero.
Nothing. It's still who you know.
Yes.
That's unfortunate. Eh?
Right. But what I'm saying is, I am just a small dot, and I have had people to train me, Bahamians, in this country who still.
So you mean to tell me that their certification may be more than yours?
By far.
Right here in this country?
Right here, by far. I didn't train myself. I didn't sow it myself.
You're blowing my mind.
Persons here sowed into me.
How do civilians get a part of this? How can you open up a school that a civilian who wants to be trained in firearm, it doesn't necessarily have to be a handgun, but in firearm training and tactics and approach and all these things that if something happens, they know how can we be a part on a day-to-day basis?
Well, you can go to our website, the National Firearm Association of the Bahamas, right? And Marvin Gordon is a visionary president. And we have two programs that I would highly recommend persons get involved in. One is called AVERT, Active Violent Emergency Response Training. We have done it to several businesses in the country, and it deals with active shooter, it deals with fire, it deals with just basic safety.
Civilians can get certified for this.
For this, right. AVERT training, Active Violent Emergency Response Training, right? We offer it. I should have bought one of the packs.
Give me a number. Let everybody know a number you have that they can call you.
Okay, you can call me if you want to call me direct. It's 434. I don't mind put my number out there, 7821. Or you can go to our site, which is the National Firearm Association of the Bahamas. Once you punch that in, the site will come up. And
have you found out more persons are eager?
Yes.
To be able to get I need a gun, man. For God's sake, I need a gun.
We're
more women or men?
Mostly women.
That's crazy. Women won't.
A lot of women now are investing in firearm.
You got to give me statistics. You know I'm interested in this. How much women want? This is extremely interesting.
A lot, because you know a lot of our females, I'm sad to say, have qualified themselves, and a lot of them are single. They have their own homes. They live alone. And they hear about the home invasions. They hear about people knowing that only a female live in the house and breaking in the house. Some of them are grandmothers, keeping the grandchildren all day in their home in these areas where everybody goes to work in the day, so the neighborhood is quiet.
So they come on a range also?
Yes.
And when they grab the double-barrel shotgun or the shotgun, and they kick back a little bit, you show them how to be able to hold it.
We recommend a specific type of firearm, especially for women. Some women can handle.
It is still put a hole. The bullet still put a hole in you. Okay, my God.
But that's why training is so important, because what training does, gives you the concept of what type of firearm you're comfortable in handling. Like I said, a lot of people want a firearm, and they say, "Oh, this one looks good," but it isn't the look. It is what you're capable of handling. It's the gauge.
I like this.
It's the caliber.
I like this. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be able to call Virgil. He has all the information. He's the director for the National Firearms Association right here in the Bahamas. He can be able to assist you with that. You can be able to get certified also if you want to be a shotgun, you want to carry a rifle.
Or shotgun.
Or shotgun. You can be able to do these things. I keep going back to my 8 Mile Rock roots. Sorry, sir. Right? I almost say sawed off. No, excuse me. Can't be sawed off.
No, that's illegal.
That's illegal. Particular things. If you want to be able to give him a call, 434-7821, 434-7821. Virgil, I want to thank you so much for giving us this insight about these particular things. I want to thank you for really emphasizing the necessity for being able to be educated and educating these things. I want to talk to you a little bit further about incorporating this concept for younger people. So if you're out there, if you're an NGO, if you're in this kind of a space that you are a big brother or big sister, maybe we can be able to get together with Virgil and have small classes to teach these kids.
One of the things we want to do for the children before the show comes to an end is we want to field an Olympic shooting team. from the Bahamas.
They could do it.
Yes, an Olympic shooting team.
They could do it.
And I find females are very good shots.
Really?
We want to feel one.
I just have to talk soft around my wife.
We have to,
She's certified, you know.
You
don't even know my wife. She was on the range with you.
Okay, she was?
I'm telling you, she's certified.
A lot of people come to
Qualified, certified.
A lot of people come.
I can't even roll some days. I'm sorry,
Right.
baby.
So
man.
that is there's no reason why we can't. Jamaica has an all-female shooting team. Other Caribbean countries have shooting teams. Because we use firearms and we only hear about it in the level of criminal activity, we look at it in a certain light. An Olympic target shooting team. If we can feel a team, people will have a different concept of firearms.
Maybe this is what the government should focus on. Being able to harness this energy for your desire to shoot a gun and put it to productivity.
Education is the key.
That's it.
Education is the key. And I feel with education comes a level of discipline.
Yeah.
Once you're educated, you become disciplined in many different areas of your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much, my brother. You are a good, decent man for being able to sit here with us to talk about these things. I got to hold on to this. We're going to find out more and more about these particular things. I'm extremely interested because guess why? These are the last and evil days. You will not be able to take care of yourself and ensure that you could protect yourself, not only here, but abroad, when you're traveling, so forth and so on about these particular things. Ladies and gentlemen, that was none other than Mr. Virgil Thurston Stirrup. He's here with us being able to talk about these things. Give him a call if you are truly interested in it and get yourself certified. 434-7821. And shout out to the National Firearms Association of the Bahamas. They can assist you with a great deal of things. We're going to take this quick commercial break, get to news, and be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's that time of year. Time for the Guardian Media Group's annual Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Fair at the Mall at Marathon, Saturday, March 2nd. Starting at 10 a.m., admission is totally free. Games, prizes, samples, and surprises are free. So, bring your mom, bring your dad, bring grandma and the baby, and come and receive free health screening, new product info, and sound financial advice. It's the annual Nassau Guardian Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Fair, happening Saturday, March 2nd at the Mall at Marathon. Join the movement.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. 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 The foundation. The foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, right here on this beautiful pre-Lovers Day conversation that we're having. Was it appropriate to talk about guns just before Lovers Day, right? was it appropriate? I don't know if it was, right?
That's very serious.
This is a very serious conversation. It's
Yeah,
important,
man.
though. I think that the kind of crime that we're having in the country places us in the position to be able to make a decision. We need to be educated and put ourselves in this position. Well, I want to talk about that, and let's see if we can be able to segue back into this conversation about where we are right now. Lovers Day. We're going to talk about these things. We have none other, you heard his voice, none other than Ian Thomas, all the way from Direct Market, is talking to us about what's going on here in the country and around, out and about. And Ian, say good afternoon to the people out there.
Hey, good afternoon, Bahamas. How are you doing today? Man, I feel good. I feel good, Howard. How you feeling?
I feel good.
You feel good?
Oh, yeah, I'm living.
All
I'm
right,
living
jump
any day above ground is a good day to be able to be here.
Absolutely. I got to jump straight into this because my time is limited. Good afternoon, Bahamas. My name is Ian Thomas. I am from Direct Marketers. Direct Marketers, of course, is a marketing company, and we specialize in radio, TV, print, social media, and e-blast. So if you have a business or a business idea and you want to know how viable it is, please feel free to give me a call at 552-0212. That's 552-0212. Now, Howard, I got to talk to you about this company now. Now, everyone agrees that their home is probably their most biggest investment that they have. I'm sure you agree with that, Howard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so any company that they choose to work on it has to be a reputable one. Well, right now I'm doing some renovations at my house, and I'm in the middle of adding on in certain areas. So for the past 2 weeks, I've had a company. Are you okay? Is everything good?
No, yeah, talking to producer.
Okay, good. So for the past 2 weeks, I've had a company called Daring Millwork. These guys are helping me figure out, the best and most cost-effective way to get these things done, all the work done. Now, I was told by several of my clients, and I've also read some fantastic reviews.
Which is what they call Daring?
Daring Millwork. Daring Millwork. So they do it all. They do it all. Like I said, I read some reviews online about the company, and I've had many contractors in the past.
How do you spell it there?
Daring, very good. D-A-R-I-N-G. Daring.
Okay. D-A-R-I-N-G.
Yeah, Daring Millwork.
Okay.
Write the company down, ladies and gentlemen. What I was just telling you? Oh yeah, I've had many companies come by, contractors come by, and some of them left doing some real shoddy work. But this company, Daring Millwork, these guys do it all. They do electrical, plumbing, masonry, and carpentry. If you need some tiling done for your kitchen, bathroom, the front porch, or the patio, you can call Daring Millwork. Their phone number is 431-4774. 431-4774. 431-4774.
When you hear millwork, I'm thinking that they get cabinetry and
they do that, but they do it all too. Now they're number one when it comes to cabinetry. I'm so glad that you said that. Like I said, if you want electrical, plumbing, masonry, or carpentry done, you can call them. You need some tiling in the kitchen, the bathroom, front porch, or the patio, you want to call them. They specialize in roofing, painting, and drywall finish as well. So a leaky roof, you want to call Daring Millwork. You want to get rid of those outdated kitchen cabinets and countertops, give them a call, 431-4774, 431-4774. Call them right now. Now, last week, and my neighbor, she had some kitchen cabinets that were nice, but they were worn out. And Daring Millwork, they went in and they resprayed all of the cabinets, and now they're basically, my neighbor, she has a brand new kitchen, and she's extremely pleased.
They
about
respray
the whole
it?
thing. They respray it.
So okay.
Yeah, so you might have a good design, but then through wear
colors.
and tear. Yeah, and they can change the color for you.
Yeah, the olive color.
Oh man, she did a real nice color.
1967 olive color tiles.
No, not that, man.
And olive color cabinets.
No, with some thing on the wallpaper. No.
With
These guys
fuchsia colors tile. It's too much.
No, man, these guys.
So they come and spray it.
They come there and they spray it. I don't know if they took it down and sprayed it or they did it right up there, but it made the kitchen look brand new.
I like it.
She's extremely happy. I'm happy that she's happy. And
where are they located? Daring Millwork.
Well, they said most importantly, they're not worrying about the location because when contraction and construction being contractors, they come out. The phone number 431-4774. 431-4774. Need some renovations done like myself for your home, business, apartment, or your Airbnb. Nobody has more affordable rates. So their team is comprised of professional, skilled workers, all vetted for your confidence and safety. And I beg you guys, call them right now if you want the job done right the first time.
Daring Millwork.
Daring Millwork. Mm-hmm. The owner promises no job is completed until the customer is 100% satisfied. All work is guaranteed. and it carries a warranty. So once again, that's Daring Millwork. Phone number 431-4774, 431-4774. Get them done. Also, I always talk about this company, wonderful company, Libra Pest Control. Whatever pests, insects, or bugs are bugging you guys, Libra Pest Control will get rid of them today. Libra Pest Control has professional service technicians who get to the root of any infestation problem. So stop being embarrassed when guests come over and you have to go ahead and quickly go and cover up the food before some creepy crawlies get all over it. Then someone come out there, Howard, you want a piece of cake? You want something to drink?
No, I'm good, thanks.
I would say, no, I didn't go.
I'm good.
I just drank something 2 days ago. I good to go.
Is this Joe's apartment? What's going on? What the hell is this?
Yeah, listen, and for you guys out there who are building and you need your foundation sprayed, call Libra Pest Control. Their phone number is 376. Their number is 376-7346. 376-7346. 376-7346. That's Libra Pest Control. Right now, Libra Pest Control is offering a 40% discount on all subterranean termite treatments, just like what Howard just said. That also comes with a warranty of satisfaction. Now, if you guys have a beehive and you need it to be removed, prices begin as low as $100. Plus, they preserve the hive so they can relocate the bees. I know. I made sure I asked him that before he called me yesterday.
Because people want the honey.
Yeah, people want the honey. But people want to make sure that the bees are relocated, not disposed. But no, we need bees, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Remember, all inspections and estimates are absolutely free. No, remember, it's absolutely free for they to come out for inspections and estimates. Now, that's very important. And right now, you can get 30% off on their monthly rodent services. Say goodbye to ants, roaches, and millipedes. All those nasty crawling insects and bugs that some people have in their car, Libra can address that with ease. They're equipped with the most innovative car baiting system on the market. Not to mention, all servicemen have been fully trained by pest control professionals who've been in the business for over 20 years. Family Island customers, you guys, hey, take advantage of Libra Pest Control services because these guys travel to the Family Islands several times a month. All types of jobs they can do. Nothing too big, nothing too small. Imagine all those little rats, roaches, spiders, ants, bees, termites, millipedes, all gone with one phone call. Phone number, one more time, 376-7346. 376-7346. 376-7346. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to give my number out because if you've heard me talk about any client or business in the past and you say, hey, I want that number, please remember, give me a call at 552-0212. That's 552-0212. Ian Thomas, Direct Marketers. I spoke about this company last week because it was all leading up to Valentine's Day. Audio Plus on Soldier Road and the Hit Spot. They have a location. Well, they got two locations. The phone number is 394-6668. 394-6668. Audio Plus is the largest store in the Bahamas for all your audio and musical needs. They're open up from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. They got a wide selection of drums, drum sets, Junkanoo drums, cowbells, whistles, trumpets, clarinets. They got They got flutes and guitars, tambourines, and keyboards. They also carry audio cables, speakers, amplifiers, and microphones. You can get special discounts for if you come and you mention that you want some stuff for your church, restaurant, or individuals who have home studios. They got great deals on powered speakers going on right now. So you want to check them out. That's the Hit Spot. There's two locations. One is on Soldier Road, and the other one's on Robinson. They're open up and, wait a second. I'm telling you about the Hit Spot now. The Hit Spot, they're open up from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Like I said, they've got two locations, one on Soldier Road and one on Robinson Road. Now, if you have a vehicle like Howard and I spoke about last week, and you'd like to install a car alarm to protect it from, getting stolen, I guess, you check out the Hit Spot. These guys have installers that will give you the neatest job possible, all at the best prices on the island. They've got alarms that can be used as sirens. You can lock or unlock your door, screw down your windows, start up your car. Even if you got a convertible, you hit a button, the top comes down. So many to choose from at unbelievable prices. Now, if you want to upgrade or change the stereo system in your car, they got top brand CDs, players, amplifiers, equalizers, and speakers. Got a Japanese car like myself, then you can go ahead and get that device that can help you get all the FM stations so you can listen to the Foundation with Howard and be jamming and be cool and know everything what's happening Hey, how does that sound, man?
Hope you don't play it too loud.
No, man, don't play it too loud.
Yeah.
Especially don't come around my neighbor playing that loud. Yeah. But also the hit spot they carry, like I said, they carry that device to get for you to transform and get your car to get the FM bands. You want that booming sound system. They got a huge selection of subwoofers, deep bass sounds with all the tweeters and who won't be jamming your car. So many speakers in different sizes and brands. I can't even mention. Advertising. If you are a barber and you know that you want to advertise and market your business, they've got these wonderful neon signs. They're gorgeous, and they can attract traffic to your shop. I want you to visit both of them. That's the Hit Spot. They're on Village Road and Soldier Road in the Village Road Shopping Plaza, 393-3732, 393-3732. And the Hit Spot, you can check them out on Robinson Road. Check them out on Robinson Road, their second location, and their phone number is 356-8250, 356-8250. Now, I just got one last client to tell you about before I'm out of here, Howard. I got a lot of things to do for the day. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Valentine's Day.
Sounds appropriate. It sounds appropriate, right?
Serious, yeah. You know, give me something so we get violent. Hey, look at man, stop it. SHSS Electrical. Once again, SHSS Electrical, they're giving away a ceiling fan to some lucky customer. Just WhatsApp the copy of their receipt. Now, they're located on Chesapeake Road in the former Minute Muffler building. This is the store family, but they're no longer in the Henry F. Store building on Mackey Street. Check them out on Chesapeake Road in the former Minute Muffler building. Do something different, fix up your house, make it feel good. And why? Because you can get prices as low as U.S. prices when you shop down there at SHSS Electrical. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, there's no need to go to the mall, Carmichael Road, or Palmdale. No, it's a wide selection of lights, indoor and outdoor lights. Plus, they got ceiling fans for your home or your business. Once again, for those who, my goodness, how would you make me miss this thing right there? For those who need to go ahead and upgrade their panel box, they've got the Square D products, switches, combos. They got breakers and breaker panels, electrical wires, and meter cans. You can get this all at SHSS Electrical. The phone number is 605-7777, 605-7777, or 605-7477, 605-7477. Remember, you spend $50 or more, get a 10% discount. They also ship to the Family Islands. And remember, they also have a huge, they got the largest selection of LED bulbs on the island. So you don't need to go anyplace else. Remember, you want LED bulbs so it can bring your light bills down. You want to go there, check them out, and get all the Square D products, like I said, switches, combos, breaker panels, electrical wires, and meter cans. Get rid of those old incandescent light bulbs. Get the LED bulbs. But I want to let you know, once again, they're giving away a ceiling fan down there at SHSS Electrical. Go down there, get the ceiling fans, get light fixtures, especially those that are equipped with the outdoor motion sensors. Get the dusk to dawn security lights outfitted with motion sensors, and they're flying off the shelf, ladies and gentlemen. They can't keep them in stock. Call them right now, SHSS Electrical, 605-7777, 605-7777, or 605-7477. So thank you once again. It's been incredible being here with you today, Howard. I spoke about SHSS Electrical. We can get ceiling fans and all the lights and everything that you need. Their number is 605-7777. I talked to you about Audio Plus. We can get
and Hitspot.
Audio Plus and Hitspot for all your musical needs, all your amps and speakers, all of your guitars and your drums and your keyboards. They're located on Soldier Road, 394-6668 or 393-3732. Libra Pest Control. Don't let all those bugs be crawling all over your house and you have ants in the back of your yard. Get rid of all them things, bees, mosquitoes, everything. Call them right now, 376-7346, 376-7346. And lastly, you want your house all fixed up? You want an electrician, plumber, mason, carpenter, people to do drywall, tiling, all of that. Call my guy, Daring Millwork. These guys are number one contractors, 431-4774. 431-4774. I got to get out of here, Howard. It's been such a pleasure.
My brother, it's been wonderful to have you today.
I can say my number one more time. Let's say it together, man. Give Ian Thomas a call at Direct Marketers at, hit it, Howard, 555-202-0212.
Quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back. Just wanted to do a quick segment with none other than Direct Marketers talking to us about what's going on around town. We're going to be right back after this.
Wings are here. Popeyes now has wings in 5 flavors: honey barbecue, ghost pepper, signature hot, sweet and spicy, and roasted garlic parmesan. Marinated for 12 hours. Hand battered and breaded in a bold Louisiana seasoning. And they're only $7.25 for 6 wings. Taste them
Crunchy outside
and juicy inside.
Try the new wings from Popeyes now.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company. Right here, being able to chop these things down just before Lovers Day. We're having great conversations. Is it appropriate? Was it appropriate to have a conversation? I just wanted to do it. I thought it was important. I think with the crime that's happening around the country, it's important for us to find ourselves in the position of education, to understand firearms, whilst we are faithful in terms of our prayer, to be able to commit ourselves to prayer and fasting and to be able to seek God's face. It's very important that we're still prepared. Talk to me. It's very important that we are diligent, right? That we find ourselves sober in our thinking. And that comes with education and a very clear understanding. I am surprised, Virgil, at your statistics that says that more young women are moving to the direction of being able to pick up shotguns and so forth and so on, as opposed to young men. Single mothers and all these particular persons want to be able to protect themselves. This is crazy how our society is shifting. This is crazy. I don't think my grandmother has ever touched a gun. Can I say that? I mean, my grandfather, from I was a young boy, they had guns around. They tell us stories about guns, so forth and so on, from they were young men, right? And so they always knew about these things. For the purposes of hunting, let's just be very clear about this. For the purposes of hunting, I told you, they used to kill the hog. They would go off, shoot wild hog. They would shoot duck, so forth and so on. My uncle, my oldest uncle, he used to love man of war, right? I don't know how he even eats that thing, right? So I knew about these things from I was a child. But the entire time, my mother wasn't interested in it. My aunt wasn't interested in it. My grandmother wasn't interested in it. They knew about it. They cleaned the things up when they come home. But they didn't participate in that. And to see our society evolving into this kind of a position where young women are saying, hey, listen, I got to be able to learn how to use this gun. And not for the purposes of anything else other than being able to protect themselves. It's crazy. The evolution of our society. The evolution of what it is to be Bahamian here in this country. Guys, the lines are going to be wide open. The lines are open now. Can I say that? Right? Because I said it when Virgil was here, but nobody called, so he and I just continued the conversation. But the lines are open now. If you want to participate, please do so. Give me a call. 323-623-4316, 325-4259, anywhere for the family violence, 242-300-5720, or hit me up, 422-4796. I'm trying to figure out an appropriate conversation to have tomorrow. I want to talk love, but not from the perspective, I don't know, I want to talk relationship. I don't know how I want to do this, right? I don't want to have the stereotypical conversations of what people talk about, the platonic love and so forth and so on. I want to talk something a little bit deeper. I do. I have some tinkering with my mind of how I want to be able to approach this tomorrow on Lovers Day, but I don't know necessarily how to be able to kind of to get it going. In my mind, I'm still setting it up accordingly. But you let me know if you have any suggestions to be able to have a specific conversation tomorrow or particular type, because we've been talking about crime now for weeks. 4 weeks. We came 4 weeks out of January. Now we're in the second week of February right now, and we've been talking nothing about crime. It's been crime related one way or another. So we got to figure out how we can be able to segue into some of the social conversations that matter, or incorporate some of the issues that we're faced with now with some of the seasons that we're about to step into. Let's talk about that. We also know that this year, so let's talk about those things. Let me see if I can take a telephone call. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Howard Grant.
What's up, my brother? Turn your radio down.
Yeah, I was doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, great show. The young gentleman you had on with the firearms expert, right?
Yeah, Virgil.
I love that guy. The thing is, he's a decent fella, but you can't disagree with anything what he's saying, right?
Mm-mm.
But, I had one question, and you should bring him on a regular basis just to bring awareness, because, most of us are so third world. I mean, I would say most of our minds are being raped by our colonial masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to unrape their minds. The guy was making pure sense. What I wanted to add to that conversation was the fact that I don't even have a problem with that, because, what he was saying, he was giving data and all of that, his experiences. So I kind of like that. But when you submit for a firearm, and let's say you get a firearm of your choice, right? And he's showing you, some people have body size, different weight, you understand? So he has the experience in that particular realm. But some people will never have the gonads to use a firearm. And so I realized that with the ballistics, the striations that is in the barrel. So if you get a brand new gun and they take the striations or they do the forensic on the barrel, they issue you the gun. So if this bullet is used in anything else, then they can see that it's you. And then the thing is, if you alter the barrel, he knows what I'm talking about, then the gun should be revoked. If they get reports of you showing everyone you have a gun, then you don't deserve to have a gun. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because the young cats, when they get in an argument with someone, back in the days, some fellas would lift up their shirt to show you they have a gun. You understand what I'm saying, Howard?
Right.
You know the rule. You're from Freeport. So what I'm saying is we all play the fools, but let's bear in mind the basic reason for bearing arms, the right to bear arms in the States. It is to buffer against the tyranny or totalized power by the government. Most people don't understand that. And so because these laws are outdated and antiquated, so are our politicians, right? They adhere to Massa. And so Massa made sure that he would always be safe, because what happens is he put these measures in place where you talk about to stand your ground. If you don't have no ground, not even the ground we stand on, and you made me, but your broadcast is sound so. You make me laugh so much times when I rebroadcast it, when they drink him a little Guinness, when they then knock off, right? I just get off. You said something, they battling over turf that they don't own. Sometimes you're very humorous. I can appreciate you on the radio. You understand what I'm saying, Howard?
I appreciate you.
And so, you need to bring the guy on a regular basis. And those are the type of things I want in. I don't know. Yeah, you said something else?
No, I told him to come regular. I told him that. I literally told him that.
Why should someone have a problem? But what happens, and he mentioned all the things he talked about, the defense force being used by the police force, the police doing what they call moonlighting, etc. But where does that money go that they're moonlighting from when the taxpayers are paying them? They should give all police officers a raise, and even the ones that are not nefarious and are not mixed up in brutality excessively, they should be. You need no rank. You're a police officer. You're on duty all the time. You need your gun. And if you nefarious, if you known, Howard, with technology, they can find a police officer nefarious, But the thing is, I hate about them. They want to place themselves as infallible. And then I want you to do me a favor, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what the favor is? I want you to read the Coroner's Act, because I find it very difficult to believe that with the Coroner's Act, it wouldn't entail that the coroner, I thought it would entail, correct me, that the coroner reached the scene before the police. How could the police do the shooting and do the investigation initially before the coroner's reach? So clear it up for me, because that is total BS, and they need to fix their mess. So is along with a lot of things, Mr. Grant. So I'm looking at the PM speech, and the PM, saying, the comma, right? But what I'm saying is the drama. Now, here's it that you're talking about crime, which I wouldn't lay the total onus on the PM, but the systemic corruption and blind eye and lack of enforcement with immigration is the reason for crime. So don't be confounded as to the crime situation now. When you saw, all right, I have a crime advisory. Can I say it? New York City. Some teens from El Salvador wild and barbarous and ain't used to nothing, I guess, went in a high-end shopping district in New York, saw some tennis costing $300, whatever they saw, Howard. They ain't used to nothing, and they try to shoplift and then pull the gun on the security guard and start shooting at the police. So you telling me you can't juxtapose crime with immigration? And they responsible for it? By Howard, by God help us, because we all, I must say, is a fool. Let me tell you something, Howard. All of them, you see that? I know all of them, all of them is Haitian Bahamian. And they find it convenient to be Haitian Bahamian when it's time and be Haitian when they, you understand? Most of them, don't worry about the kind of Bahamian name. I know all of them. Bless up.
I appreciate the phone call, my brother. Thank you so very kindly for that and your contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that this is important that we talk like this. I think it's important that we, take the restraints off. The social decorum associated with how we do this sort of a waltz, right? And 1, 2 step. 1, 1, 2 step. 2 is sort of an idea of how we do a waltz socially so we don't offend each other. So we don't offend those particular persons that sit in the seat of authority. So we don't offend those particular persons who come from a different ilk, a different cut of society, and understand these things from a traditional standpoint. It is still important. It is extremely important that all of us come to a very clear understanding that we here and now. You ever notice these people who preach to you and act like they never do no sin? Right? They've never done, oh my God, I can't believe that you're doing that. God has called us to be holy and so forth and so on. Don't understand that Jesus Christ himself, who's cussed more than Peter and David and all these people? These fellas was cusses. Right now he ready to fight. These people were fishermen. There's an old adage that says, you cussing, you're drunk like an old sailor. These are the people that Jesus came for. And so when you place yourself in a position where you're holier than thou, you excommunicate a great deal of people that you are called to be able to liberate, that you're called to be able to access and show a different light to. It's very important that we push aside this kind of a waltz that we're having and talk very frankly with each other. We are in the muck and mire. We're in hell. Okay? There's no two ways about that. And whether you put that in the classifieds in the newspaper, whether you put that in the letter to the editor, whether you put that in the sports section, it doesn't matter. This is a life that we live every single day on the streets. Many of us that made these resolutions to step over into 2024, that made a determination that we want to be able to do a little walking now and just go out to the park and do these things. I want to go out. And many of us who made that sort of a resolution or even came from the tradition of being able to go and hail your friend and hail you. So long, we have put that aside. All of it. For the safety of ourselves and our families. We have. Many of us, we don't travail into the spaces that we can. We ain't spending the money that we need to. Socially. Simply because of the fear of crime. And so for our Prime Minister to take on this kind of posture and position, to come to speak to us who don't live within the media. Many a young man don't read the paper. Come on, talk to me. Can I say this to you? Can we talk like this today? These young fellas, young women and young men, they are not reading the newspaper. They are not reading the newspaper. They're not. They're on social media and they got the names of the people who died before us. They can tell you who these persons were. They could give you the affiliation of their relationships. All you got to do is read the comments. This kind of an idea of avert your eyes. Watch how you put these things in the paper. Don't put it in the paper now. Because young people are going to read. What are you talking about? The international press, what are you talking about? There's not enough consideration given to the things that are being said. This kind of a condescension, this flippant, nonchalant approach to the populace, this has to stop. This has to stop. Even the concept of the conversation that we had this morning as it relates to firearms, we're not little kids. There needs to come to a point in a position that you can be able to open up your eyes. You have good and decent citizens in this country. And like Virgil indicated, there are 30,000 people with firearms license right here in this country. Shotgun, rifle. 30,000. That's 7.5% of 400,000 people. 7.5% of 400,000 people. 30,000 people. And I guarantee you, a great deal of these persons are in the family of violence. So now we find ourselves in this position as to whether or not we secure ourselves. Whilst we could pray and pray and pray and pray, there are certain persons that are not of our faith, that are not of our position, they're also praying as they lurk in the bushes and wait for us. They're praying on our downfall. We're going to have to fortify our faith with a position of works. And maybe some of that works is quick commercial break. We're going to take this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to open up lines when they come right back.
Foundation.
Creativity is in my blood. From shoes to handbags, fashion lets me express myself and embody Bahamian culture. My name is Aidan Barrow, and I am the creative director of House of Assembly. Alive's Liberty Prime Plan allows me to focus on my passion and stay connected, whether at home or abroad. Once I've created something new, I can post to social media from anywhere and get instant feedback. Alive has a plan for everyone, and it's created with you in mind. Alive. Believe in best.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The Foundation, Howard Grant, right here, 96.9 FM radio. We started the day off with a conversation about guns, firearms, our position. And the core of that conversation really was education, right? And it spilled into this sort of this concept. Listen, I really hate to unravel this the way that it's happening, because it's happening in real time, right? It's really happening in real time. And I hate to kind of be the bearer of bad news, but this concept and idea of this is not your political organization. Can I say that? Is it okay? I mean, I'm very serious. Is it okay to say this like this? Your political organization, both the FNM and the PLP, seeks to be able to provide information, despite the information that they get. Good press, good news, bad news, is all good. They can create spaces. They have war rooms designed to be able to shift the narrative to look in a particular way. You'd always hear the contrast. No matter what happens, based upon who's in power, you'd always hear a contrast. That's just the nature of politics in this country. The spin is on. This is not a game. This is people's lives, and we, the public, have to learn how to navigate it. There's also rules and regulations that govern this particular segment that we're in, the fourth estate. And there's an unspoken rule that exists from time immemorial. If it bleeds, it leads. How dare you not provide us information of where not to go, of what happened last night, about the fact that there is a vigilante on foot out here in our community. It is the news responsibility, traditional media, and more so social media has amplified this and gained us access, immediate access into these people's life. How dare you come to traditional media and say what not to do? Whilst we, in this posture and position, continue to be able to speak to governments about being able to move away from the archaic approach of being able to govern, you say to us how to do our job. My God, ain't nothing gonna get done. You telling us how to do our job, we telling you how to do your job. My God, nothing getting done. Let's just talk. Let's talk. Line's open. Let me take the telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Howard Grant.
Hey, my brother, what's happening?
Boy, you had me waiting for a while, but I had to let this out today, so I decided to hold on. Listen to me. You see the young people around you who are doing the killing and the robbing and the raping and the this. They're not the problem, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the Bible said that thy people that are called by my name
My God.
will humble themselves. We need we who are named the name of Christ, we need to humble ourselves. We too high. See, when you humble, the humble child takes the grace of God. Mm-hmm. When you humble yourself, you can get down into the muck and then stop going around these young fellas with no coat suit on, with these big cross tear in their coat pocket, and think get to the you can't go to a baseball game in a coat suit. You need to get in this fight with these young people in their jeans and their t-shirt thing, man. We need to let's humble ourselves and guess what? Turn from our wicked ways. A lot of wicked things going on around here from people who claim to be Christian. 52 was on to something when he talk about these Haitian women. You have a lot of them around here who will be Haitian when it's convenient. When you see Flag Day, everybody's Haitian. Then have the Asian Flag Day.
Wow.
Everybody get on Asian clothes.
Wow.
When you see other days, they're Bahamian. So they jumping over my son because my son only a Bahamian. They get two nationalities they working with. Let them say, okay, all the Haitians have come this way to get something. They can go that way to get something.
Let me ask you this question. Do you believe that the core of our issues for crime stems from illegal migration?
A big core, because a lot of them can't find no work. They don't have a fine book.
I could argue you down with that, right?
Argue me down then because
that's not statistically proven. Statistically,
I'm telling you what I know.
Statistically, this is only the surface. This is the legal part. Illegals are working every day.
Every day.
Every single day in this country.
And the government's still taking care of more than 3/4 of them.
If you go in a shanty town like Dion folks in his particular, when they did this thing from Department of Labor, and they went into the shanty towns and they only found like 1,200 and some persons and whatnot. And we know as a community that there are at least 7 families that live into one shanty home. Now, where the rest of these people is, they at work.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm running from that to grant. But what I'm trying to tell you, how many? Okay, if they make $100, how much of that $100 they pump back into this country? Maybe $10, $15 the most, with $100.
$70 got to go back home.
All right. So what they doing is they only using us? You think they sending their money back home and can stay here, or they sending their money back home to go back home to their money?
Wow. I like the telephone call, my brother. I appreciate your telephone call. Thank you so much for being able to give me a call today. I like that. But I got to ask this kind of a question. I think so much of us, and this is the same thing that I'm saying. I just want to be very clear with this. All of us are in the position of pointing some finger. That's what we're doing right now. We are at our neck in social quicksand. We keep shifting and looking for a position, and every time we shift, we move deeper into this quicksand. And with the last bit of energy that we have, rather than being able to look for a way out of this quicksand, the only thing we do is point fingers. It doesn't matter who it is. Every single person in this country right now who's looking for a way to be able to identify why we are where we are is by being able to point fingers. And I don't know whether or not this kind of a big index finger can point solely at illegal migration. I don't know. We have done a very poor job as it relates to being able to incorporate, to induct, to introduce these persons into our society. We have yet to even decide whether or not they should be a part of the society. The fella said his house get pushed down after 20 years. Do y'all want him to sleep in the street like a dog? That's crazy. Absolutely bananas. Because I know persons who would have gone off to school, get degrees, so forth and so on, decide to move out of their parents' house and can't afford a piece of property, and they live in an apartment. And when the things got hard in 2020, 2021, they moved back home with their parents. Degrees. Illegal migrants living in shanty towns 20 years. Bananas to me. Crazy to me. And the only thing that I can point a finger at is corruption. That's all I can point a finger at. I don't think there's anything else that exists for me to be able to say it's your fault. It's only corruption. If we could see this, if all of us could see this, and no one's dealing with this, they turn a blind eye to it. My God, it only could be corruption. How is it that an act of God has come sat over, my God, it's sat over Abaco and East Grand Bahama? And the illegal migrants that live in the mud and pigeon peas had to scatter. Many of them died. That we can't even record. That are in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere, drifting at the bottom of the ocean right now. That no one has come and said Jane Doe is lost, this particular person is lost, because they were never registered in this country. Many of them, as a result of the hurricane that sat over this island, mud and pigeon peas, gone. And as soon this concept of normalization was to be able to bring back the corruption, that, my God, y'all want me to get preachy today. Because that's what's happening in this country. It's ain't about illegal migration, it's about corruption. It's ain't about being able to hide and spin the narrative of these particular things happening and don't let it get in the news. It's about corruption. It is corruption. It's corruption. And no one want to deal with it. We will look at it and turn our eye, well, child, it is what it is. Baby, it is what it is. It's the Bahamas. You're content with that. But our brothers and sisters are being lost. And our country is depleting into nothing. We erode day after day after day, like a slow drip on your ivory soap. Times you come home this evening, a big hole in that, you can't even figure out how the one drip could do that. This drip for decades now. And this is where we are. So this cannot, for me, this cannot only be illegal migration. It cannot. It has to be the acceptance of lunch money under the table. The acceptance of $5,000 to turn your head when a plane come in and land from immigration standpoint. The acceptance of when you know you're supposed to be on a raid in these particular areas and somebody called you and put something in your pocket. The acceptance of these things, you've accepted it. And you place all us in this position. You've accepted it. You turn your eye when the fella come hit you a lick and you say, well, my boss got to get something, and you send it up the line. You've accepted it. You've bring damnation on this country. To our camp. You wasn't supposed to touch the spoils, and you bring it into the camp. You bring damnation on all of us. You've accepted these things. Now we can talk about illegal migration. It is your position, your conscious position to take garbage. You've accepted corruption. And you bring it upon the heads of the Bahamian people. Good, decent Bahamian people who work hard every day. Every day we work hard. And pray to God that we have enough money in June, July to take our children off just to Disney World or someplace right there in Miami and come back home to say that we live in some semblance of a life. You've accepted corrupted monies. You've accepted these things, and this is where we are. I can't blame the Haitians for that. I cannot. I can't blame the Haitians for a story that Loftus Roker said to me when he sat in the position as Minister of Education, Minister of Immigration. When he looked at the paper and the paperwork and who had these particular things and wanted him to turn a blind eye. I can't, that has nothing to do with illegal migrants. That's the acceptance of corruptions for your comfort, for your contentment. And this is the evolution of the Bahamas that we've grown. We've reared this country. We've reared this country. How we can fix it? Quick commercial break. No more commercial break. No more commercial break. Telephone call. Go ahead, caller. Hey. All is well. What you say? I what you say?
preaching again.
I feel preachy today. Because all the Haitians can't be the reason.
No.
My God.
Just like you say, statistic doesn't say that. Normally when they make the arrest, what is it they say? You name Bahamian. The person who go before the court with them Bahamian. You know, it's Bahamian. For the most part, it's Bahamian. 90% of the time. Let's put it like that. Some people like that. But I want to touch on you still there, Howard?
Yeah.
Is this word, right? But this right. You know, try it.
You break it up, baby. I can't hear you. Call back.
I say,
or fix your phone. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I say prior to the Prime Minister coming in government, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always feel that he, for some reason, that's if I had some consideration about government, I think that he was going to make a difference, you know. So everybody always describes him as a nice person, honest person, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He is somebody who loves people. You hear them things, right?
Mm-hmm.
People still saying those things. But he disappointed me, man. No, I'm not going to lie, right? He disappointed me to the fact that things that you see are happening here, instead of he addressed it, he wants to hide it. You know, like he wants to put a cover over it. Okay? What they need to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I dare him. You know, I used to dare in the face of the media now. Who's supposed to be the eye and the ear for the people? To tell them what they must do and what they must not do. You always believe like the media, we done was believing the media was suppressed, right? Now that he said that, you done thinking like what, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what needs to happen now is they need to realize that regardless of what you think can happen. So just go and fix it. So the media will have nothing to report. Fix it.
But you can't make the media the bad guys. I appreciate you calling. No, I got 2 minutes.
You think he's making the media the bad guy?
No, they can't keep making the media the bad guys. I appreciate your call, my dear. Thank you so very kindly. I got 2 minutes before I get out of here. The fact of the matter is that our responsibility, this is what we get paid to do. This is the job that we have. When I sit in this particular capacity as host, I have to give you a perspective of the information that comes forward. It's my responsibility. This is my job. Some people may not like me, you don't like me. That doesn't make a difference to me. I out here doing my job. And I didn't beg nobody for this. My God, I can't get away, man. Ain't nobody give me this job because of my proximity to no political organization. My God, I can't get away, man. I work for this. I get my behind cut from y'all. Calling here sitting down with Warren McCartney. Day after day, Warren telling me come back. I say, I ain't sure, Warren. He said, Howard, come back. This is what I do. And my responsibility is to be transparent and provide you information. Maybe my perspective, because I'm a host of a show. But the media's responsibility is to provide information of what's happening in our society, both local and international. How dare the Prime Minister take on this kind of position, flippant or otherwise? It goes back to what Clint Watson said before he ascended to the position of the office of Prime Minister as press secretariat. He said, y'all call it again. Y'all on the call here want us to be able to open up and do all this. You forget he did that? Y'all saw the thing? Call it again. You all of us will call here. You will open up your headquarters. You will do all these things. You want us to be able to create these kind of puff pieces. And call back again. Call back again. They only know us when they need us. But when it's our responsibility to provide transparency and information to the Bahamian people of where we are, hey, hold on, don't put that in the front page. To make your government look good, we are concerned about the forward movement of the Bahamian society. And that has nothing to do with red, yellow, black, or white, unless it is the skin colors of the citizens of this country. It is time for us to understand that we all have a job to do. And while we hold your feet to the fire, you do your job. You've made commitments to us as it relates to what's happening from your blueprint of change. Now it's time to see those things applied in our society. Guys, tomorrow is Lover's Day. Let's see if we can get into a kind of a cozy conversation before we slip into Small Business Thursdays and kind of talk about these things. It's a beautiful day. You go out there, buy a little basket, buy a good cologne now. Don't buy the set when you spray it on your shirt, it's turned to curry. My God. Buy a good, decent cologne for the woman. She love you. Amen? She cooks something for you. At least you get noodles. Amen. Praise God. Enjoy yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful weekend. Continue to be able to ponder how we can be able to contribute. And let's move away from pointing fingers and find ourselves in the kind of position of being able to do what we have to do. It's 2 o'clock, guys. We are out of here, 96.9 FM radio, The Foundation with Howard Grant live in full effect. I'm so grateful to be in your company. Going to see you tomorrow, God spare, right here on Guardian Radio.
The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.